CW Apparel, Clothing and Speak, always delivering a message. If you're watching this video, that means you are interested in the transfer of wealth process. This process turns talented and skillful employees to successful and powerful entrepreneurs. See, we are moving in a new paradigm where talented and creative people own their skills. No more days of other people owning your masters. You are the master. You master these skills, the skills that you have cultivated over the year. You can easily become a successful entrepreneur. Right now, the barrier to entry into any industry is very low. So the only thing is required is people with experience, dedication and passion, and skills and talents. So the first step in this process is identifying the three skills that you have while working as an employee. These are the groundworks that's going to help you start your business. Once you identify the three skills that you have, then we will begin to develop a business plan. You will look at these three skills and you'll see what these three skills can translate from the entrepreneur stage, because the first stage is being a freelancer. So then you will take your skills and then you'll become a freelancer. So example, if you was a teacher, right? And some of your skills was, writing and language, right? Well, if you look at those skills that you possess, able to identify and correct grammatic errors, the creative writing ability that you have, and then the organizational skills, right? So when you talk about these skills translate into a copywriter, right? So what you begin to do is you begin to do copywriting. You can also translate these skills into tutoring. You could also be a tutor. So it's multiple lanes where you can take those skills into understanding what business you want to go into. Last but not least, Jay-Z said this quote: "I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman," meaning that you are the business. The greatest challenge people have when converting from employees to business is they have a poor mindset. See, to be an entrepreneur, to be in business, you have to think like a business and not a consumer. See, many times when we coming from humble beginnings or low income communities, no one teaches us about wealth. No one teaches about finance. No one teaches about money. So we just go with passion, hard work, and dedication. And we think that's going to help us reach our plateau for success. But often than not, it does not. Because if you don't have a wealthy mind, if you don't start thinking like a business, you won't be able to function or operate like one. So this is when the budget comes in and you look at your complete budget and you say, these are all of my bills. This is all the money I'm paying out as a consumer, right? And you have to start looking at every bill that you're paying to whatever company that you're paying, that you are investing in that particular company. So if you got a $400 payment to Honda, you're investing $400 a month to Honda. If you got a $200 phone bill to Verizon, you're investing $200 into Verizon. And once we start to really take away the fat or cutting the fat off the meat, right? You got to clean your meat too, right? Okay. Yeah, you too. When we start to clean the fat, we start to say, what is that number that we can shave off? How much money can we shave off of our budget of the things that we solidify as a need? Like, these are our bills. These are the reoccurring things. What can we shave off, right? And this money is not just money we put in a savings account and getting 0.0002 interest on it. This money this number that we extract from our bills, we're going to now invest that monthly into our business, right? And so I started out, when I had the idea, I just took $50 out of my bank, and put it into my business account every month. And by the time I knew it, that grew to $500 because I came more astute. I started thinking more like a business. I started to itemize everything that I was doing so much to a point where I was able to extract $500 and in relatively a few years every month and put it into my business. And so instead of paying other people and investing in other companies, because I was a business, I'm not going to invest in other businesses and not invest in myself. The whole concept of pay yourself first. Many people think that's a process of you just putting money in a savings account. No, it is a transfer of wealth, because now you're transferring the money you're getting as an employee and you're putting that money in your business. So your business, the company that you work for is thus investing in your business with this money that you are now not giving or not investing to other people, but you're now investing into yourself. But once you think like that, once you understand this and you do that schematics with your budget and breakdown and say, what can I cut out first? You know what I mean? And then make plans to cut out more as you go along. Whatever that number is at the bottom, start a business account and put that money in that business account every month. This is now your business budget. So your business doesn't even have to make money. And this is the second hack when you talk about you thinking like a business. See, many times we get into business, we think about profit. Profit is the most valuable thing. Am I going to make a profit? Well, when we talk about investments are best reaped when they're long term. Long term investments are the best investments. There's no get rich scheme in this process. This is a long term plan. This is a longevity mindset shift that you're going to transfer from an employee to business. You're not going to quit tomorrow. You're not going to retire yesterday and say, oh, now I'm going to start a business. No, it's going to be a gradient. It's going to be a fade, a nice fade, where you're going to transition out of the employee status into the entrepreneur space, into the space where now you already cultivated a particular entrepreneur business or space or opportunity for you to start building and growing upon, right? But it's important to start with that business and say, I'm going to invest in my business every month, right? Because when we talk about business with just looking at profit, say, I got a clothing line and my goal is I want to make 20K a year on my business. Well, I got the wrong mindset, right? Because the big entrepreneurs of the world, they don't think about making money. They think about what money is not going to be taken from them, from a tax or liability. What benefits can they get? What write-offs can they put in there? So if I think like, I want to make 20K versus I want to get 30,000, I want to get 30K tax deductibles of my income, right? Because like I said, I have a job and I'm making money, right? So your goal is not to just make profit when you start this process. Your goal is to itemize or reduce the amount of money you're going to pay out in taxes. And people think very, very close-minded. They like, oh, Trump had a failing business. Yo, that's smart because he got 5 businesses over here that's thriving. I might as well get 3 that's failing because now that's going to go into my write-off. That's going to carry over in my big pot. And so when I don't pay taxes, you just jonesing me because I failed. That business is failing. But maybe I sabotage that business so this business can thrive and I can get the tax exemptions. See, you playing the game wrong when you think it's just about profit. The goal is, how can I show the IRS that I ain't making money? That's what you need to think. How can I show the IRS that I ain't making money? Because soon as you come in the game thinking I'm making a profit and I want to show everybody I'm making a profit, even the IRS, they're going to take their cut. They're going to take their cut. So you got to think about the things that are being exempt, the things that you are not giving away, you know what I mean, versus the things you are now gaining, because that's the consumer mindset to make the 20K. What you going to do with that 20K? You're going to spend it. That's what you're going to do. So if you think in your mind, I'm making 20K more a year, what's going to happen if you got a poor mindset? You're going to spend 20K more. And that's what they say is, at the more money you make, the more money you spend. Biggie said it, the more money, the more problems. It's because the more money, the more expenses you incur, especially if you don't have a business mind or a wealthy mind. And this is no disrespect. Many of us are programmed this way. You know what I mean? We talk about the top 1% ruling the world. So what is the other 99%? Well, the majority of them are poor people from low income, people who didn't have the opportunities, people that didn't have the education to really understand how to grasp and gain wealth. And this is why this process is so important. This process is not something I just put together overnight. I started this journey in 2008. Coming out of Iraq, I said, I have to get into an entrepreneur space and I'm going to do it the long way. You know what I mean? I invested in myself. I went to seminars. I made sure I went to one seminar every quarter to gain knowledge from the people that was doing it. You know what I mean? The people that was doing it at the big level. And if you can't get a mentor, get a book. You know what I mean? Books sometimes are the best mentors, right? Because you get gain from people that you would never probably be in contact. People that probably still are not living the day. You know what I mean? That's the way you can channel and talk to the dead and get gain from people who've been doing it way, way longer than some people that you had the opportunity to actually connect with in real time. But it's important to understand this process as the final stage in that first preliminary or prerequisite part into this transfer of wealth process is understanding to think like a business and not a consumer. And once you start thinking like a business, once you start to begin to develop a wealthier mindset, you will have more better practices. Like I went to the car dealership last week and I was talking to the guy because I'm thinking about buying a new car. And I was telling him, I'm 37 years old. I only had 2 cars my whole life. Now I definitely could have afforded multiple cars in this particular, time frame. But I would tell you, out of the 2 cars, I didn't spend over 30K. And he said, I've never seen nobody like you, right? And it wasn't that money went somewhere. That money went all into my business. Like I invested so much of the money I made into my business. I am bound to be successful at it because I'm throwing so much of my own money into it. Many people just want to make money. They don't want to put money into it. But as an employee, it's important to understand the transfer of wealth process is predicated on the money that you're making as an employee. You put that into your business. You don't wait for somebody else to do it, because what this thing is about 100% ownership. This thing is about 100% of the residual coming back to you. You know what I mean? I didn't just write a book this year. I wrote a book with 100% royalties. I wrote a book where I don't even need Amazon to sell the book, right? The book is going to speak for itself. I'm going to be able to get 100% of the royalties from this book. And I don't need any middleman because I already built the process of understanding, right, how a business works, how a business operates. And because other people say, well, I'm going to get them to do this work and I'm going to get them their 60%. And they think that's a good deal because they have a poor mindset, right? They're used to being a consumer, right? A consumer says, you can do this for me. Here, do it for me so I can get a cut. A business says, I could do it all on my own.